I'm waiting for you to post the link in that group chat. It's a group chat with Jen and Angie.
Okay, I'm trying to sign into your account right now. Facebook's being slow, but I hit record, so.
Oh, all right. Well, they'll be jumping on in a second. Welcome everybody to our Epic Empire team call. It is, go ahead, Sue, mock me. I don't know what day it is. Ever do. I say that every call. I really don't. I have to look at it. Okay, it's the 18th of January. We're halfway through the first month of the year, which means we're rolling into February. We're rolling right now. You know what everybody's doing? They're falling off the bandwagon. They're not going to the gym. They're not going to their Zumba classes. Their Julian Michaels 30-day shred lasted 4 days. So you guys have to be really present on social media, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. But first, I want to go over some recognition and some announcements. I am so excited because I heard we have a new diamond popping up. Ooh, who could it be? Who could it be? I'm so pumped. Excited to add to the Cool Kids Club, and excited to have another person on our diamond retreat, which all that information and logistics of it will be coming out. Just got to roll on the taxes, got to pay those first, you know. But anyways, next announcement is we have a Team Cup in February. Woo! Who's ready to rock Team Cup? I am. Honestly, y'all, that is what grew my business from the beginning. I jumped in on a Team Cup in February of 2013. Oh, by the way, today's the 18th. You know when my 4-year anniversary is? On Saturday. 4 years, I will be a Beachbody coach on Saturday. So it was this time 4 years ago, or I guess, 4 years ago, this time 4 years ago, when Tommy Myrick came to me and said, would you like to be on my cup team? And I said, yes. What do I have to do? And he said, you just got to sell a lot of challenge packs and commit for the whole month that you're going to work really hard on follow-ups and inviting and filling your challenge group. And I said, okay, I can do that. How many points do I need to get? And at the time it was 30 points. I'm like, I can get 100 points. I'll get 30 points. I'll get 100 points. Whatever you want me to get, I'm going to get. I'll go door to door if I have to. That was my mentality. Like I was kind of a all-in kind of person. And it was that moment when Tommy asked me to be on his cup team when I was I was probably like a week and a half into coaching that I just went all in. And I showed my first month, my first month paycheck, full month paycheck was February. It was $600, which is pretty awesome for a brand new coach to get a $600 for 1 month's paycheck. And it was because of the Team Cup. And what kind of momentum do you think it added to my business when I sold 30 Success Club points worth of challenge packs in my first full month as a coach? That momentum pushed me forward. And every Team Cup, I have committed myself to pushing really hard 4 times a month than the normal push that I would have given on a regular month. So I encourage you guys to group together as teams of 5. You only get 1 diamond per team. Obviously, we don't have a bazillion diamonds on our team. One day we will. But you don't have to be a diamond to lead a team. You don't need any diamonds to run a team. So I encourage you guys to go ahead and group together. You get to name your team. You get to collaborate and work together and help each other, encourage each other. Don't be a Debbie Downer in your team. Don't be that person, but be an encourager to one another. So Team Cup, let's start grouping together and setting that up. Anywho, enough about all of that. And let's see. I think that's all of our announcements. Super Saturday is April 8th. That's our next one. And then we have tomorrow is our we're going to the Dominican Republic. But our Maya Riviera, Mexico, is that how you say it? Riviera Maya? Maya Riviera. I don't know, no hablo español, but we're going to Mexico and the registration starts tomorrow. So I'm looking for more details because it's really starting to confuse me because they changed it around, and Kelly posted a cute little video and explained all of it, but I'm still like nervous about like how it all works because they changed it. But we're registered, and we're registered for the Turtle Wave. Turtle. If you don't register for the Turtle Wave, you're not going to be with us on vacation, okay? You'll be with a whole nother group of coaches. Because there's 2 waves, and we've chosen the turtle wave, okay? Slow turtle, not the other one, which I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to get stuck in your head. Turtle, okay? That's what we're doing. I think we're going to be there, or I think it's like the 17th through the 23rd or something like that. I won't even throw out dates. Anyways, enough of me. Done with announcements. I see our guest speakers. I see Angie, and I see, is Jen going to be joining us?
Yeah, I'm going to say there's a lot of women on, so I'm seeing if she's...
I'm here.
Okay, she's on. All right, let me give their grand announcement. I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Epic Empire One. First of all, this group of ladies, Angie and Jen, this team right here is phenomenal. There's so much raw, natural talent that we're just really trying to hone in on, you know, our natural talent and our love and passion for our products and our challengers, but really start crafting our skill and making it perfect for who we are. And so we're excited to bring you on. I want to tell you guys a little bit about our guest speakers. We have Angie and Jen. I've never actually spoken to Jen, but Angie and I got on a call and we got to chat, and I told her about you guys, and she told me about what she's been doing, and I've been following her on social media like a stalker. I mean, I'll be sitting there doing my workout and her little live thing will pop up and I'm like, ooh. And I'm doing my, what are those things where you jump up, stand on the bench and then come down and plie squats. And I'm listening to Angie as I'm doing these going, okay, please, Angie, distract me. Tell me how to do live videos. But they are business strategy coaches. They are co-creators of, I don't want to butcher this, Wellpreneur. Did I say that right?
Heck yeah.
Wellpreneur Business Academy. But their social media is so much fun, and I totally jive with the way they do things. So I'm like, I've got to bring these people to my team so that they can start learning. And even if you can't jump in on their training, go follow them on social media and watch their value that they add, because it's helped me so much just in the few weeks that I've been watching them. So I'm excited to turn the call over to them. If you have questions, write them down and we'll do a Q&A at the end. All right? All right, Angie, you got the floor, and Jen.
Perfect. Jen and I are so excited to be here tonight. I cannot believe how many of, oh my goodness, there's like 50 gals. This is incredible.
Oh, awesome.
I love it. You guys are so cute. You're like ready to learn. So Jen and I are social media strategists essentially for health and wellness coaches. So tonight we're just going to take you through some tips and tricks and systems that we use, that we teach ladies to grow their brand, to get confident on live video, to nail their niche. And we coach a ton of Beachbody, Isogenics, USANA, a lot of network marketing gals. And we love doing that because we think if we can teach you guys how to build your brand and your message, then network marketing just kind of flows and your systems and your sales increase when you actually have this brand. So tonight, that's what we're going to jump into. Jen, should we start with the profit path?
Yeah, let's kick it off with that.
Okay, cool. And then, yeah, if any questions come as we go, totally leave them in the chat box on the side, and we'll make sure we get to all the questions. Awesome. Do you have the picture of the profit path, Jen? I have one of them, but I want to show.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one you have, but yeah, pull it up and then.
Cool. Yeah, let me show you this. This is the social to sale funnel one, but I want to show the other one too if you have the one with the pictures as well. Cool. So Jen's going to be pulling up another one. So this is a large part of what we teach in our academy, but sort of a little bit cool. Secret view. Awesome. This is what we teach in our academy, but we teach it obviously super in depth. And tonight we're going to walk through this because this to me is like the secret sauce. This is like, what the heck is the purpose of social media? Especially if you are in network marketing, how are we utilizing social media in a way where it's actually attracting people, where it's actually getting you people outside of your warm market? So it all starts with attraction marketing. And this is where we'll dive into some tips around live video tonight, because we are huge fans of video, recorded and live, and utilizing this to attract people outside of your current market. Then the purpose of this is then to drive them to some sort of free gift. We call this a freebie. You could call this a freemium, a lead magnet. There's a lot of different names that people name it. And then from there, we are driving this person to somewhere offline. So I always say the purpose of social media is to bring this person onto your own turf. Because at the end of the day, we don't own Facebook, unfortunately. We don't own Instagram. We don't own Pinterest. We don't own Twitter. So let's say, I hope this doesn't happen, ladies. Let's say it crashes tomorrow and we're like, damn it, I was running my whole business through one of those platforms. So we always, as business owners and as business coaches, encourage our women to always make sure that there's some sort of system and strategy and organization, and that the business is not totally always running just on social media. So we're huge fans of building an email list, whether you're in network marketing or not. I think it's one of the smartest things you can do to, one, acquire clients, and then two, to retain clients. When you're in network marketing, you have two things that you're constantly doing. I know you ladies probably totally already know this or are doing this, but your business has two sides. It has acquiring clients and then retaining clients. So I'm huge on email marketing as well, because even when I was in network marketing, I loved utilizing my email list to send out blasts and these broadcasts to a lot of my customers to say, hey, here's a brand new product, or here's a tip, or here's a recipe, here's a workout. I was constantly almost treating it like a blog to really give them that value and that support. So they didn't want to go to another distributor because I was the one who was giving them the most value. So at the end of the day, an email list is a great way to save you time. It's more efficient, and it's making it so you don't have to inbox people all day. And it's a great way to collect their contact information in a professional manner and have that one-on-one interaction. And what's cool about email lists is you can have one that's just for your team, where you send out more business, mindset building stuff. And then you can have one that's just for customers, where you give all nutrition, health, and fitness tips too. And then from email, again, let's say some of you ladies are doing any health coaching outside, or in addition, I should say, to Beachbody, you can then offer this in email or utilize email solely as a way to retain and acquire people. This is huge for a lot of women. You guys know this. They want to know who you are before they buy the product. Because at the end of the day, there's so many girls now in Beachbody, right? It's a growing company, which is awesome for good reason, right? There's a huge demand for it. And what's happening then is a lot of these women look exactly the same, right? They look exactly the same. They have the exact same product. So it's like, oh my God, how do I stand out in this sea of all these women doing the exact same thing? And this is where we bring a lot of organization to this and strategy to say, okay, what's your story? And what are you actually going to be doing as far as attraction marketing? And what's your brand? And how can we tie this together in a way where you're actually speaking to your people? And Jen actually made this chart. It's pretty awesome. I like how it says value, 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 and continuously adding value to their lives. And I'm sure you gals may have heard this, but value at the end of the day is what's going to win, right? Value is the thing that is going to keep a customer staying with you. It's going to keep them on the product every month. And value is also what's going to ideally turn that customer into a business builder, because they're literally blown away by the amount of support and value that you provide. So this is kind of like one of our little systems and ways that we help our girls see the bigger picture of social media. So is social media just, okay, I'm just going to inbox people all day and that's it? Or is it, can I figure out a way to provide other health and fitness tips and ways to build my brand and my name, so that I'm taking this person through an actual system or a journey? So even Jen and I in our business today as business coaches, this is exactly what we do. We have attraction marketing. We're funneling them into some sort of freebie or a private Facebook group. I always say these are like your two hubs. You have hub number one, which is your email list, and then hub number two, which is your private Facebook group. Both of these are great places to nurture your audience. And then from there, you're deciding, okay, am I giving them an offer? Am I breadcrumbing my knowledge that's going to ultimately lead to a purchase? Am I driving them to a brand new product for my company? And then it goes to lifetime buyer. They love you. They will buy from you. And you guys know word of mouth sales is where it's at. And ultimately, they're going to refer people to you. So tonight, we want to kind of break down each of these steps. Want to feel like a saleswoman. So we want you guys to start like thinking outside of the box and figuring out how can you provide something that's bigger than just the product.
Yeah. And I have the other one if you want to.
Cool. Yeah. I was going to say, show me the other one too. It's a really cool visual.
Yeah. So this is kind of the more tangible layout of all of those ideas. So essentially, we're beginning with the attraction marketing piece. We're beginning with creating valuable social media content that makes you stand out as an expert. And Angie and I were joking the other day. We're like, there's so many protein shake selfies and clean eating challenges and pictures of acai bowls and all this stuff. How do you, as a health coach, stand out among all of the other people doing something really similar? And especially with network marketing, of course, you guys are using the same products. And so it makes it even more difficult to stand out. And so it really comes down to creating really incredible content. And that is a combination of knowing your expertise beyond Beachbody. So, a lot of you guys will bring your faith into your coaching. You'll bring prenatal care into your coaching and have this other thing that sets you apart. And of course, you guys are big in story. So I know a lot of you guys will use your Beachbody story as something that you share, but there are so many other opportunities to just share story just throughout the day of little things, little moments that happen. So when it comes to the content creation piece, this is the front end. This is how people are coming in the door. But one big mistake that a lot of network marketers make is that they have the content creation. The content might even be really good, but they have no way of collecting anyone's information. And so they'll say, hey, you're on my Facebook. Why don't you go to my Instagram? Oh, you're on my Instagram. Go to my YouTube. You're on my YouTube. Go back to my Facebook. And they're sending their customers in a circle. And then they're like, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm spinning my wheels on social media. And I'm like, it's because you're sending people in a circle. Mm-hmm. So instead of having to go through the strategy that I know a lot of Beachbody coaches use, where they're like, I've got this mutual friend with this person, so I'm going to friend request them, and then I'm going to inbox them, and I'm going to be like, hey, I love your cat. And then we're going to build this friendship, and then over time, I'm going to invite them to my challenge group. And listen, guys, like, I know that strategy does work to some degree, but and you can certainly still do it, and that's definitely a really easy way to duplicate with your team, and especially with new coaches, because they're not going to be ready for some of the more advanced stuff. But at the end of the day, we've got to transition into taking the business a little bit more seriously and getting to that place where you've got those nice foundational structural pieces so that it can kind of run more on autopilot, and you don't have to spend as much time doing that one-on-one outreach, because as your team is going to continue to grow, you are going to want to spend more time mentoring your coaches and working with more clients, because you're just going to have more people. So how do we leverage our time and work on focusing on money-making activities by not having to send a million inbox messages, right? Like, do you guys spend most of your day just inviting inbox messaging? Is that like the majority? I know it's different for each team, but I feel like for the most part, people are usually like, yeah, pretty much. So this is really going to help you spend less time doing that and more time just attracting your ideal clients into your business. Now, when we get into lead magnets, just by like a show of hands, or if you guys could put in the chat box, are you guys familiar with like freemiums, lead magnets, email marketing? Are these like terms that you're familiar with? Yeah, kind of, sort of. I'm seeing some nods. I'm like scrolling through. Some people are like giving me blank stares. Some people are nodding. Some people are like, I'm not sure, maybe. So I'll give you guys a quick overview. So this can be a really intimidating thing for a lot of people, but the good news is you already do this almost on a daily basis as a consumer. So a lead magnet, you guys see these pop up all the time on social media. It's like, join my free webinar. So you click on the ad and it takes you to this landing page where it has a little box where you put in your name and your email. Or you go to your favorite clothing store and before you're about to click off, they say, hey, do you want 10% off? And you're like, all right. So you put in your name and email, and they are list building. And this discount code, a free training series, a free PDF, a checklist, these are all considered freemiums. And all that means is that it's a free premium piece of content. So you, as the consumer, or whoever the consumer is, they put in their name and email on that landing page, which is a standalone page. You can have it built into your website, but there are different softwares that allow you to just create that by itself. So they put in their name and email, and that connects directly to the email marketing software, where it takes that person's email and it stores it on a list. So for you guys in your Beachbody, the back end, your back office, you have all of your customers listed, right? So Beachbody is essentially taking the customer information and organizing it on a list for you. So that's what you're almost similar to what your email marketing software would look like. And then this way, now that you've got that person's email, you've given them this free premium piece of content. Now you are able to interact with that person on a weekly basis, send them some kind of free valuable content. And then, every now and again, when you have some new product that comes out or some kind of, challenge group offer, you can send out an email and actually pitch to them, because these are people that you've shown up for previously. They know who you are. You've built that know, like, and trust, and now they are a primed buyer. So this is really the process. And the beautiful thing about this is that a lot of it's automated. So I know a lot of you guys will do like clean eating challenges and just put everything on Facebook, have people inside Facebook groups, and that definitely works, and that's part of what we teach as well. But if you can also get it in the email marketing side, that's really, really important. And back when I did health coaching a couple of years ago, they actually, Facebook blocked me from posting in groups for a month with no warning. And I was trying to submit a thing to get around it, and they didn't care. So for an entire month, I could not post in any of my groups. And I was completely screwed, and I was frantically running around. And so if I had been in a position at that time, this is several years ago, where I had been list building, I wouldn't have had to freak out. And I've had so many friends who, they had, one of the ladies I worked with, she had a weekly show on a platform called Blab, which was similar to Periscope. And when Facebook Live came out, that show went under. No warning. And she had all of these weekly viewers. And she's like, if I had not been list building this entire time and having a way to collect these emails, I would have been screwed. But now I was able to take the show and bring it over to Facebook Live, and it didn't miss a beat. So this is one thing that I know they don't really teach within, the Beachbody terms, and they really don't teach this in any network marketing company, because it takes a little bit more time. You obviously have to invest a very minimal amount in order to get these systems up and running, but it is so, so important. And then, like we were saying, that's beautifully going to lead into you being able to sell your signature product or program. Now, in addition to this, and I'll let Angie jump in and share this part, one of the hubs that we teach is this email marketing. So you've got that. But recently, especially with the emergence of live video, we've really watched, just in our own businesses, in our clients' businesses, that Facebook groups are becoming the new cool thing. And it's kind of this like lower barrier of entry where more people are willing to join a Facebook group, not a product-related one, but hypothyroidism support. Well, if you're the person running that group and that's your niche, people are going to join that group. And then you can slowly transition them. But I see Angie's like, I meant to say something, so I'm going to. I know, girl, I know. And you're just like, I would like to add something.
No, I actually was just like,
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, Angie, I want to.
No, I'm reading the comments. And, I could talk to a wall for like 10 hours. So
Oh my God, yeah.
I could literally talk to a rock for 15 hours. It's scary. Anyways, glad I'm actually speaking to human beings.
Yeah.
Who have beating hearts. Well, let's chat about niche with them, and let's chat about that story, how to craft their story. Because listen, you gals are in Beachbody. For a lot of you, your mission is to stay with this company, be with this company, build with this company. And I think that it's beautiful to have some sort of niche or focus. And I think that's really going to be one of the things that can help you ladies stand out. And for a lot of you, this doesn't have to be anything crazy. This could honestly be that your focus is that you maybe have a video series where you are showing women how to meal prep in 10 minutes or less a day. Like, you could add some cute twist to it. This could be something where, yes, you do something more so like hypothyroid, like Jen said, maybe like Fit Rocker Chick. If you guys know Erin Mullen-Sanderson, I know she's really big in your company. Super cool brand where that's her focus, and then she ties Beachbody into it. So for a lot of you gals, how many of you have ever really, discussed this niche thing? How many of you have a niche? How many of you have a focus? What I think a niche is, I think it's your expertise and your story coming together in a really beautiful way. So for a lot of you, you probably started with this company because you have a story. Yes, Fit Rocker Chick is a really good page name. Yeah, you guys check her out, absolutely. For a lot of you gals, go ahead, type it in the comments. We can make this really conversational. How many of you started Beachbody because you have a health story? You lost a lot of weight. You had something that was wrong with your thyroid. You had something that was, I'm trying. There's so many different health conditions. Chubby mommy here. Me, awesome. So what was it? What was the exact pain point that caused you to be motivated to purchase the product? went through divorce, had 2 kids. I love this. This is real stuff. This is real shit, right? This is like life right here. Depression, gain weight. Oh my goodness. I have no thyroid. I was terrified to gain weight. So for a lot of you, you were motivated to try the product because you had a story, and you were motivated to then share this story and then help others. I didn't like how I looked in the mirror. Wow, this is real stuff. So for a lot of you, I think a niche is a focus where you know you have experience. And I think, listen, the best expert, holy shit, Randy lost 90 pounds. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, divorce, depression, single mom. Holy shit, this is amazing. This is amazing. I think the best expertise is the person who's experienced it. Here's the real deal. If you're a registered dietitian, you're a nurse, you're a doctor, that's great and all. We work with some dietitians who literally don't even have as big of brands as girls who are not registered dietitians. At the end of the day, the girl who has the right to share her story on social media and the girl who's going to probably attract the most people on social media isn't the expert nutritionist or doctor. It's the girl who has a story and is willing to be bold and share it. And that's why Jen, I mean, she's a ninja with helping you guys craft story, because I think story is the most valuable thing you own. And I think when you can tie it into one of your passions in the health and wellness industry, it can add a focus. So we're really big on speaking to one person. What is a huge trap that a lot of network marketing girls get into is they're like, awesome, I'm with this company. I think I want to help everyone get healthy. Every single person, literally everybody, your grandma, your cat, your dog, your neighbor, your mailman. You're like, I don't even care who it is. I just want to help them get healthy. And so this is great, right? Because we're all passionate women. We all want to help people. But in marketing, a great quote that I always use is, if you're trying to appeal to everyone, it's going to be really expensive, which means it actually costs you more money to speak to everyone. And this is Sales 101, Marketing 101, ask any big brand this. They have a specific avatar that they are speaking to in every single ad. That's videos, billboards. They have an avatar that they're speaking to in every single newsletter that they send out to you. They have this woman or this man in mind that they've crafted. They usually name him. That's why we call it like an avatar. And he has certain pain and pleasure points that if you hit on them, you're actually creating that connection, which leads to a sale. So for a lot of you gals, we want you to start thinking of that specific type of person that you actually want to speak to. And knowing that if you're trying to speak to everyone and help everyone and solve everyone's problems, that's when I think we get into this mess with marketing and content creation, because you can't please everyone. And I remember when I was with my network marketing company in 2011, I was on a mission to talk to everyone. So my newsletters were super broad and generic, and my Facebook posts were super broad and generic. And I just said the words like, feel good, be healthy, click here, you'll love this. Like just anyone want to get healthy, like please work with me. And I was so excited, and I was like, this will be great because this applies to everyone. And then I honestly, tapped in one day, and I was working with my own business coach, and I realized, my story was with emotional and binge eating. And I was a bikini competitor. I came off of all those crazy, crazy diets. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be bold and share that. And I think that is actually the woman that I would want to work with. So that's kind of scary because that's super niche. And I'm really nervous that if I speak to that one woman, no one's going to want to work with me. But the minute that I changed to that one focused woman who was dealing with that one specific pain problem of being on crash diets, being on yo-yo diets, she was finally ready for this solution or this magic bullet. My engagement went up, my opt-in rates went up, my email open rates went up. Everything changed for me literally within 24 to 48 hours because I finally was actually speaking to one person. So Jen, I would love for you to touch on this because this is something that I want to hear from you ladies. Who your avatar is, who do you think it is, what problem do you solve, and then we can get into some pain and pleasure points of your people. Because basic psychology proves, guys, and you're in sales. Like, listen, at the end of the day, you guys have an amazing product, but let's be real. We're saleswomen. This is sales, right? You're pushing a product. This is sales. So what's incredible about sales, and why I actually love sales, I think sales is amazing, is because you have a gift, right? You guys have something incredible right now. There's no reason to have shame around that, is that it always comes down to pain or pleasure. So people will purchase things or not purchase things literally based on two things. That's it, you guys. One is to get closer to pleasure, and two, to get farther away from pain. That is it. Everything that you purchase is literally to bring you to more happiness or pleasure and to get you away from pain. And if you are in enough pain, this is like throwing some Tony Robbins at you guys because I'm like such a junkie. if you are in enough pain, you'll actually make a change. So how many of you were so sick of being overweight, you were so sick of feeling like shit, or, you know, wanted to finally revamp your life after being divorced, whatever that was for you. You were in so much pain that you were willing to finally invest in a product or work with someone to finally get out of that pain, right? Or you want that pleasure so bad. You're like, oh my God, I just want to lose weight so bad. I want to like know what it's like to have residual income so bad that you literally are willing to sign up for something or do something, right? That's really what it comes down to. I hate sales. I love sales.
I used to hate sales too. Now I love sales because once you understand the game of it and kind of the right language to use, then it just becomes so seamless. But we'll definitely dive into sales. We've got some great stuff for you guys in terms of overcoming money objections. So watch out because you guys are about to have some big weeks in your business. For real. So before we dive into that though, I want to kind of finish talking a little bit about niche, tomato, tomato. So I know a lot of people, the big fear with narrowing down the person that they're speaking to. We spoke on another team called last week, and someone was like, yeah, you know, guys, like it's almost where you're in the ocean and you're casting this really big net. But when you narrow down, I know it's scary because you're casting a smaller net. And I was like, what? That's the myth. That she pinpointed the myth so perfectly. And I said, I have to stop you because that is the biggest misconception about narrowing down. I said, this is a better example of what that actually is. When you're scrolling through your news feed and you're being general and saying, I help people get healthy and fit, it's almost like everybody is going, just screaming into the news feed and it's just chaos and white noise. But when you actually speak directly to your ideal clients and their specific pain points, it's like blowing a dog whistle because all of a sudden that ideal client knows that you are speaking directly to them. So I'll give you an example. One of the clients who is in our class of Wellpreneur Business Academy, we had a one-on-one call and we were kind of digging into this and she really was having a difficult time narrowing down. And finally we got it down so that she had a hook that said, I help young professionals ditch the dying out diet and get fit without compromising their social life. She's not talking to moms. She's not talking to guys. She's specifically talking to young female professionals who are sick and tired of dieting and going to Applebee's with their friends and have to get the salad with no croutons and no cheese and the low-fat dressing on the side. Like, I know that. I was that girl. So it's like, dude, it's the girl. So in her sales copy, we were like, do you have 1 million Pinterest boards that with 1 million recipes that you never make? So the Pinterest board hoarder, the person who never gets to, have any of the stuff at work. They're in the office 9 to 5 and everyone's eating cake and they're just like, I can't have any of that. And so we were really getting into the psychology of who is this woman? What is she struggling with? What is the difficulties that she's having in relation to her health and fitness throughout the day? And then we were just building all of her content around that. And that's what we really encourage you to do. And this is what we mean by the niche, because in that example, immediately I know exactly who she's talking to and exactly what problem she is going to solve. So then when you guys are running your online groups, whoever's in that group, everyone's going to be in the same boat. So maybe your thing is yo-yo dieting and emotional eating. And maybe you specifically build your content that you post every day and season it with a little bit more of that. It's not just like do 7 push-ups today, add on an extra workout. Like, we can do that. And that's definitely helpful for people to have a little challenge. But how do we make it a little bit more tangible for the specific person you want to help? Another great one was I help women who have strayed from their inner athlete and find their fitness groove again. So this was a woman who she used to be an athlete and then she stopped being an athlete and then she ended up running an Ironman and doing that whole thing. So I was like, dude, you should work with athletes. That's who you really want to train. Helping zombie moms to ditch the mommy guilt and lose the baby weight, right? Like if I'm a 20-something and I don't have kids and I'm working in an office and I see that's not my challenge. That's not my challenge group. So it's just having that clarity. I'll give you guys one more. Let's see. So this was one of the clients that we work with who wanted to go more into life coaching. And so she said, I teach millennial entrepreneurs how to break free from limiting beliefs so that they can confidently step into becoming a leader in their business and make money. Really specific. She didn't say, I help people feel confident and happy and love themselves. She said, I'm going to help you become a leader in your business because that's what people that she's working with, she's specifically working with network marketing gals who are younger, who want to be taken seriously as a leader. So, really start thinking about who you want to work with and how you can really craft that for yourself. And, we kind of tease right now, Angie and I, if it says in your bio, helping people get healthy and fit, you've got to make it more specific than that. Because otherwise, how do people know what problem you're helping them solve? You do paleo? Are you keto? Are you into vegetarian? Are you helping people with the emotional side of yo-yo dieting? Is it mommy weight? Is it mommy guilt? Like, there's so many things within that. And I think sometimes people get really overwhelmed with having to just pick one, but just start with one thing. And usually it has to do with your story. So if you're cracking open your story and you're saying, well, I've lost 100 pounds, likely the people who are going to be attracted to you in your story and relate to you are going to be people with a substantial amount of weight to lose. So that would be a great kind of niche for you. So, do you guys feel like you have a clear sense of what that looks like for you right now? Or is that something you're still uncovering? If you guys could just post in the chat so I kind of see where you're at. Getting sexy back, yes. Still uncovering, okay.
I love this. Let's go ahead and put the I help statement too.
Yeah, so basically the two ways that Angie and I teach our clients to kind of form this or create this is either I help X with Y so they can Z. So X is your ideal client, Y their problem, and Z the desired end result. So I'll type this in for you guys.
Okay.
And then the other one is they can Z. And the other one is I help my ideal client go from blank to blank. So a lot of ladies, we've had a couple, it's like I help busy moms go from frantic to fit and ditch the mommy guilt. Or I help moms go from organize, what was Nicole Brennan's?
Organize.
Or no.
Hot mess to organize success.
Hot mess to organize success.
Yeah.
So that's another way that you could do it because it's like, this is where they are, this is where they want to go.
Yeah, and that polarity is huge. I think when it really comes to social media and standing out, it's 2017. There's a lot of health coaches coming to the surface. It's incredible how much polarity in your message can really position you as an expert and to really get some eyeballs on your content. Listen, you guys all want content, eyeballs on your content. You guys all want engagement. And one of the best ways to get engagement, I am telling you right now, 110%, is to be polar. So what this means is you actually pick a side of the fence and you actually start taking specific themes or topics or relevant things in the health and wellness industry, certain diets that are out, certain fads that are out. Guys, how many new diets are there every week? There's like eat grapefruit all day, do this all day, do this crazy thing. It's like, oh my God, there's so much crap out there, right? Like so much stuff. And your customer, your potential customer, she's coming to you in a confused state. She's like, yo, I've done every diet on the planet, or hey, Shape Magazine just told me that if I do 10 crunches a day, like I'll get ripped. Like, does this work? Like you guys are going to hear the craziest stuff, right? Like I remember I used to hear the craziest stuff from women. One lady asked me, have you heard of the water diet? I'm like, what is that? What is the water diet? Is that just where you drink water? That is called not eating food, lady. That is not a diet. So you're going to hear crazy stuff. So I always say, if your customer's coming to you in a confused state, what makes you super profitable is you helping that person get out of confusion and bringing them this sense of clarity. And they're going to want to sign up with you when they feel like, wow, she has the answers. So it's actually going to hurt you if when you're posting things that are very, I call it vanilla, very like broad and bland and vanilla, like, yeah, every diet works. The fitness industry is perfect. I'm a huge fan of being a little sassy in your messages and saying, if you don't believe in something that's going on, if you don't believe in a certain diet or exercise program that is being published in Shape Magazine, you can respectfully always say that the other side is, I understand where they're coming from, but here's why I think it should be done this way. So this is an awesome idea for you guys with content creation this week. You guys could literally do live videos for the next 2 weeks or posts or a mix of both on you picking a side of the fence and owning your polar message in the health and wellness industry. Create a list of all of, I call it the bullshit list and the what's true list. So the BS list and what's true. So one side, you would literally have what is BS in the health and wellness industry, and then what do you believe is to be true? You guys are health and wellness pros now. People are coming to you for help. They're not just coming to you for a superfood shake or for an exercise program. They're coming to you because they trust you, and they're like, dude, how do I know if this is right, or is this how I burn belly fat? Is it not? Intermittent fasting? Like, what do I do? So owning that, you don't have to be an expert like in, a doctor, like I said, or anything crazy, but doing some of your own research and owning what's worked for you. And when that woman approaches you, realizing that she's looking for you and that clarity. So that message or the exercise would be basically having one side be BS, one side be what's true, and making videos on that. I used to do that all the time and get so much traction. People loved it. I would talk about why I thought the Whole30 diet wasn't super sustainable for women, or why I believed in flexible nutrition, and what I thought about certain cleanses. Did they work? Did they not? And I would call them out in a respectful manner, and women would respond and say, oh my goodness, that's crazy that you don't believe in this new diet that's out. Why not? And I'd say, well, that's awesome that you want to know that. Here's why. I mean, still to this day, I think I wrote an email about like why girls need to eat carbs. And I got so much traction from that people were freaking out because all these like paleo keto people were like, oh my God, women don't eat carbs. And I was like, holy shit, what's going on? So I think it does it cause a little uproar? Yeah, but I think that's where juicy content lies in people standing firm in their message, standing firm in your truth, and standing in your story, and realizing that that's the number one way to stand out in social media is just own what you believe in and know that not everyone is going to believe in it. And that's okay, because you're trying to attract a woman who gets where you're coming from. So I'm a huge fan of polarity. Like, guys, if you could do anything this week, be polar in something, choose a side, and see how people respond. There's so much. You're in one of the most controversial industries. Think politics, health and wellness, and probably like religion. Yeah, like it's like that, right? Like at the dinner table, if you're like at the dinner table, you can't be like, so guys, let's talk about one of those three things. Like, so as long as you do it in a respectful manner, I think you owning your message is going to be huge as a health coach, especially if you girls are bloggers or wanting to get really big and football. Get really big into live video. You guys will notice if you start watching me, I'm like Pretty and Jen too. We're like, dude, let's talk about what we believe in. We don't bash necessarily the other side, but we're very strong in our opinions. And I think that attracts that perfect avatar for us, because she's like, whoa, you're speaking my language. How did you know that's what I was struggling with? So those are kind of my thoughts on that. Jen, go ahead. And then I think we should chat about the pain and pleasure list too.
Yes, let's do that. So just to kind of add on to this whole content creation thing, one of the big things, and you guys may have heard this is kind of a newer concept, I guess, that some people are really starting to teach their teams. And it's very simple. It's that we don't necessarily want to post about the products and programs. Like, we don't want to be using stock photos. And I think the purpose of this is really to leave it slightly ambiguous, not because you need to hide that you work for a particular company, but because it is polarizing, right? The more that Beachbody has grown, people immediately have a gut reaction to it. And that's no one person's fault. That's just the reality of network marketing. So I think it's important for you guys to really establish yourselves as the expert and the thought leader before you start introducing something that you're selling. And so ultimately, I think Bob Heidlig says this too, don't, if you're posting about your product too often, you're creating resistance instead of creating curiosity. So when you are leaving things a little bit more open-ended, you're inviting people in to ask you questions. And one thing that I see a lot, especially in the Beachbody community, is that a lot of the content is very company specific. So really ask yourselves, if you're trying to attract new people to your social media platform so that they are typing your name in to the search bar every day and coming to your page because you put out great content, is the stuff that you're currently putting out relatable and valuable to somebody outside of your company? And realize that there are certain pieces of terminology that people who don't know anything about Beachbody, they don't know. Oh, wow, this person's a diamond coach. I have no idea what that means. Oh, Success Club, a bunch of people did this thing this month and I have no idea what that means. Oh, a challenge group. What is that? People don't know. Like, you guys know because you're in the bubble, but you have to remember that you were taught what those things were. Somebody defined those for you. but what actually is it? Is it an online virtual boot camp? You know, and of course, you also have to remember if everybody's using the same terminology, as soon as you see challenge group, you're like, oh, it's a Beachbody coach, right? If you see 24-day challenge, you're like, oh, it's an Advocare person. And I think people do start to pick up on those things. And so I would really encourage you guys to, you know, Angie and I talk about, you know, coming up with cute names for your challenge groups or accountability groups and really finding a way to set yours apart. Like, why am I going, if it's the same product, we're consuming the same shake, we're doing the same workout as 400,000 other people in the company, why is someone going to come to your page, follow your content, join your group, and become a part of your team? Right? And it's this whole thing, like, I don't know how to stand out. And that's the one thing we hear all the time. But I think if you're leading with a tremendous amount of value, and it doesn't necessarily just have to be health and fitness. You don't have to be that person that's, oh God, I got to post another recipe today. Got to just keep putting out recipes and got to keep putting out videos of me working out. And it's like, you don't have to be anything other than who you are. So if you're not this expert chef and your upline is like a ninja at taking pictures with their iPhone and they love like making everything beautiful and it looks like something that you get in a fancy 5-star restaurant and you're trying to replicate that, don't do that. If you are like, I have no idea what photography is, I do not know how to take a nice picture, you know, visual platforms might not be your place where you're going to really thrive. That's like Instagram, Pinterest, right? Maybe your thing is like you're really great on live video, or maybe you're a phenomenal writer. So play to your strengths and really figure out how you deliver content in the best way. And obviously, Angie and I keep pushing and encouraging everybody to get on live video because it's changing the game and Facebook is favoring it massively. So a lot of you guys who are like, well, how do I get new clients interested? How do I get new eyeballs without having to necessarily pour money into ads or do anything too crazy? Live video. That's literally period, end of story. Great content that speaks to your ideal client on live video. And I think this is a good way to kind of transition into speaking to the pain points, because one of the questions we get often is, well, I would do live video and I'm not totally uncomfortable doing it, but I just feel really awkward doing it because I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about. And I mean, just by a raise of hands, how many of you are doing live video first?
Cool.
Oh, okay. Wow. So a lot of you.
Okay.
And then how many of you often feel like I would do more if I knew what to say? If I had more. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah. We hear this literally like 5 times a day. So this is a huge thing. And honestly, the content creation piece from that really begins with narrowing down and nailing down your niche and that specific ideal client you want to work with, owning your story, and being comfortable in your unique expertise. And when it comes to expertise, I mean, do you guys feel like you have expertise, just by a show of hands, in health and wellness or something else, like accounting or literally anything? Some people. Okay, well, that's good.
We literally had a girl once who was an accountant, and she was super type A. She's actually in Beachbody. I remember this is 2 classes ago, and she had her tagline is like, I help women balance their I don't know, like balance their like
Their budget or something.
It was like their budget and like their plate or something super corny, but I was like, this is so cute. And she literally was like giving like financial advice and like weight loss advice. I'm like, this is hilarious, but honestly run with it because it's unique and it's different. And I'm all about doing what's a little bit outside the box. So have fun with it. You might have expertise in something that you don't even realize is valuable, and people will want to hear about that.
Yeah. And I think the really beautiful thing with expertise is for a long time, when I did health and wellness, I wanted to keep it in this box over here. Well, this is my health and wellness box. And then I was also a professional performer, but the peas and the carrots didn't touch. Like this was also in this box over here. And then, I also was like, into business and technology and all of these things, but I never let any of those things come together. And then when I transitioned into business coaching, it was like, and live video came out. It was like, wait, I've been performing my entire life. Live video just came out. I can get on live, talk about business, and serve specifically people in the wellness industry. And it was like, duh, like all of my expertise layered on top of each other. And so like Angie was saying with that accounting example, take your health and wellness business and layer it with something also really awesome. And when you take 2 really good ideas and you put them together, you stand out. So that woman who did the budgeting with budgeting and balancing your plate, she can then go and run a special challenge group where she's going to teach people how to budget their income, save money, and then that's how she's going to overcome money objections for challenge groups. Great. The first $140, $50 you save goes to your challenge pack.
Great.
Boom. That is how you stand out. You take two really good ideas, layer them on top of each other, make a little expertise sandwich, and that's it. And a lot of the people who are high up in Beachbody, they have done this, and they maybe accidentally fell into that in terms of their brand. But if you really analyze a lot of the top people, they do have a mixture of things that they do really well, or that makes them different and makes them stand out. So, that's something to just really think about. So if you, Angie, we could jump into kind of the pain points now. I know we're going through the whole thing right now.
Well, I love content creation. Like, this is
Yeah.
everything. And I feel like this is probably the biggest pain point for you guys, even. Like, we're going to talk about pain points. This is probably your biggest concern or pain point, afraid to do live video. Yeah, we'll chat about that. So this is essentially what we do. Honestly, this one little exercise can apply to your business pretty much forever. It's called reverse engineering. So a lot of people ask Jen and I, how are you creating so much content? And I think what we do is we essentially reverse engineer, which means we are constantly doing market research. And this isn't like anything that heavy, like Excel spreadsheet market research. This is literally us chatting with our peeps. So what we're doing is we're getting on Facebook and the other social platforms we're on, and we're constantly asking questions. And it sounds like this. If you were to work with us for this amount of time, what would you love to learn? Or a lot of our health and wellness coaches will ask, what is your biggest pain point when it comes to losing weight, feeling confident, having energy? What is your biggest desire when it comes to what you want your body to look like or feel like? So they're literally throwing these pain and pleasure point questions out. And we take those answers verbatim, like literally verbatim. So if a girl wrote, or a few women wrote, that's when it gets juicy, right? When you're getting the same answer. A few women wrote, I really wish I could fit into my pre-baby clothes. Like, before I had kids, I was able to fit in these jeans. I looked all hot, and now I don't know what's going on. There's something going on down there now in my stomach. So you literally take their words and then you make that into posts or videos. So Jen and I will literally copy and paste the feedback. And I did this as a health coach, and I put it into a Google Doc, and it would be ideas for live video. And I'd have like a rolling list of 1,000 answers, right? I would go into other Facebook groups. I was sending it out on my email list. Now, I can ask on a podcast, whatever platforms you are active on. Get passionate, aggressive, passionate. I don't want to use regressive, but get passionate about talking to your people and seeing what they want. And this could even be you picking up the phone and calling your aunt and saying, hey, you are my ideal client. What are your biggest pain points when it comes to health and fitness? What would you be willing to invest in if I was to be your health coach? What product would you love, or what outcome would you want from a product? So then once you have those answers, you can create videos around them. So again, going back to that mom who's like, I don't know what happened after I had kids, you can literally make a video tomorrow based on that one lady's answer and say, do you feel like you used to be able to fit in these jeans before you had kids? Like, click below to watch this, or you're not going to believe my little secret, or what's really been helpful for me. And so this woman is going to see this and be like, oh my God, dude, I got to tag my friend in this because she's speaking my language. And when you are inside of your customer's head or your brain, or what's this quote, Jen, that we love? When you are in the when you enter the conversation that's going on in your customer's mind, you know you've won, which is literally like the juiciest quote ever. Jen, can you type that actually so they can see that?
Yeah.
It's so good. I love this quote. When you are in your customer's head, when you know what the conversation is that's going on, you've won. When you guys start getting those messages, they're like, hey girl, how did you know that's what I was struggling with? Oh my God, dude, I have that same struggle. Like, holy shit, how did she know? That's when you've hit the golden jackpot of content creation. And I remember when I started getting those messages, I was like, oh, I'm speaking to them. They know I'm in their brain. People will start to be so creeped out, but they will love it. They'll be like, oh my God, I need to work with her. She knows my pain points. She knows what's going on. So what we do is we create a pain and pleasure list. One side says pain, sad face. One side says pleasure, heart. And I literally, Jen and I still do this in our business. I mean, if I'm feeling like I need to get some creative juices going, One side is the pain. So on this one, that example of a woman that would be my old avatar for health coaching is binge eating, fearing carbs. She's tired of counting calories. She's obsessed with MyFitnessPal. Her pleasures are she wants food freedom. She wants to be able to eat socially with her friends. She wants less rules around food. She wants to be able to enjoy, flexible nutrition and eat with her family. So literally I would create videos on each of these things. Like, are you sick of fearing carbs? Are you tired of counting calories? I would literally speak to that direct pain. And then I would go to pleasure and say, would you love to be able to go out to dinners with your family and not feel like you're bringing your Tupperware with chicken and broccoli? Here's the solution for you, or here's how I can help, or here are my top 5 tips to helping you. Women love tips. Women love numbers. So if you guys can add numbers into your videos, that is so golden. If you could give specific numbers, people love that. I don't know why. It's just like kind of like copywriting 101. People are very attracted to knowing that the solution is very digestible. So yeah, this is like a very simple thing that you're like, oh, I could do this tonight, or well, it's late, but maybe tomorrow morning when your brain's fresh. Literally just think, okay, Cindy Smith, okay, she's my avatar. What would be her pain? Jen, we also have the up at night test. I don't know if you want to chat about that. It's essentially just like, what is your person saying up at night that she's willing to pay for?
Yeah, when she's up at night, laying in bed, looking up at the ceiling, what is she thinking about? Mm-hmm. What is she worrying about? What is she obsessing over? What is her first thought in the morning? Oh, this again. Mm-hmm. So if you can identify that, you won. If you can literally then go and create titles, sales copy, live videos around those pain points, people are going to click. I had done a post a couple months ago where I was like, dear overwhelmed entrepreneur, this is for those of you with self-proclaimed information paralysis. And I went on to say all the stuff about, do you feel like you're spinning your wheels on social media? And people were like, you're in my head. And it was like 15 people that were like, oh my God, you wrote this for me. And it wasn't that I wrote it for one particular person, but Angie and I were on the phone with a lot of people at that time, and we were in launch mode. So we were doing a lot of discovery calls. We were polling our audience a lot, and I was just hearing the same thing over and over and over and over, the same words, the same language, overwhelmed, overwhelmed, overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is literally every single person that we're talking to. So you'll start to be able to pick up on the patterns of what people are saying over and over again. And that's when you know you've really, really tapped into some really specific, juicy content. And you really want to make sure that you're using their exact language. So I always use the example of a real estate agent. If somebody hires a real estate agent and says, I only want to see houses with gigantic backyards, and the real estate agent takes them to the back window and says, isn't this a humongous backyard? They're like, no, bro, I asked you for a gigantic backyard, not a humongous backyard. Because those words might mean something different. And a lot of you guys probably have ladies that you're like, okay, you're doing your sales conversation, like, so what are you really looking to achieve? What are your goals? They're like, I just want to get toned. And you're like, what does that mean? And so if you're not using the word toned, and if you're trying to close that sale and saying, I'm going to give you this workout program, we're going to drink this shake, this is how it's going to go. And, by the end of these days, you're going to lose those 10 pounds and you're going to be fit and lean. It's like, to you guys know that toned is being lean and putting on lean muscle. Mm-hmm. But to that person, they're like, no, I don't want any muscle. I don't need to get bulky. I just want to be toned, right? So if you're not using their exact language, they're like, this is not the thing that I asked for.
Yeah.
Really, really be aware of those nuanced things. And I take copious amounts of notes when I'm on the phone with people, because I want to make sure that I know exactly where they're at so that I can really connect the product or the service with their exact needs and make sure that I can say for certain, this would be a really great fit and here's why. So really make sure that you're taking really great notes and asking really great questions with that. And we'll talk more about that in a few minutes when we kind of dive into sales, because I know you guys want to talk about money blocks and stuff.
Yeah, we can check out money blocks. Wants versus needs really quick. Jen touched on it a little bit, but Sales 101, a huge thing that's really helped and been really powerful for us is wants versus needs. So in life, in sales, oftentimes you are sold on what you want and then you are shown what you need. I always use Lululemon as the example of the sign outside their door is like female athletic apparel. And you're like, awesome, that's exactly what I need. That's what I'm looking for. When you get inside their store, we all know that Lululemon is literally about like yoga, meditation, having a cute butt in these pants, like all, spirituality, friends are not as important as money. Like, you're like, all right, Lululemon. So like all of this stuff that's inside the door. So same thing with you. You guys have a business, you have a front end, your attraction marketing, your content, you're selling people on what they want, the words they're using. Once they're in, you're like, hey, Cindy, so I know you joined me because you wanted to get toned, whatever the heck that means. But I want to talk to you about, what tone really is, losing body fat, gaining muscle. Like, then once people are inside your door, your virtual store, whatever you want to call it, then it's like, all right, you have the flexibility as a coach to then direct them and say, listen, I'm gonna show you what's really going on. So let's say you sell someone on emotional eating, binge eating. That's what I used to do. I sold her on what she wanted. What she wanted was to feel food freedom. When she got in my program, I was like, sister, the reason you're binge eating is because blah, 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 relationships, job, work, or love life, whatever. But I wasn't going to sell her necessarily on the back end of my business. I'm going to always sell someone on the front end. So I hope that's kind of helpful too, maybe with you guys in your crafting your messages. It's kind of just the way people work, right? As humans, like you guys, when you're purchasing something, when you're scrolling on Facebook, are you like, oh my God, I can't wait to buy this confidence program today? No, you're like, dude, oh my God, how does she know I need that? And then you'll click on something. So remember what you're willing to click on too. Women are no different. We just really want people to give us things that we really want, right? So
yeah, and actually I love that you said that, because I think the perfect example for Beachbody coaches is including personal development in your sales copy. How many of you prior to Beachbody knew what personal development was or had some kind of practice of reading personal development, by a show of hands? Like 1 or 2 or 3 people. If somebody was leading with, I mean, maybe people said like, oh, build more confidence. But I see so many people that are like, join my group, it's for personal development. And 90% of the people that they're trying to attract have no idea what that means. So again, this is really becoming aware of, do people know what a challenge group is? Do they know what personal development means? Do they know what a portion control container is? Like, how can we unbox that, use different language than everybody else in the company, and really make it something that your specific ideal client understands and is asking for and is literally typing into Google? Like, if they are literally typing into YouTube, how to blah, 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 how to portion out my food, how to balance my macronutrients, that's what you put in your sales copy.
Yeah, if it's searchable, if it's in YouTube, Amazon reviews, we teach our girls to do that. Go on Amazon, look up the top hottest not personal development, health and wellness books that are out right now, different DVDs and systems. See what people are writing, see what people are searching. You can see what's trending. Again, this all comes into staying close to what's relevant in the health and wellness industry. So then you can create polarization and then have content based on what's going on. You'll see there's this huge like paleo trend. Okay, do you want to speak about that? What is that? There's people now wondering, oh, will that help me lose weight? Will that not? I mean, there's a lot of that going on in your customer's brain. And if you can enter that conversation and give her some clarity, you've hit some gold there. So what questions do you guys have on this or video? We're an open book, so. Yeah. Okay. So, and two guys, speak about what you're testing out too. Melanie just did Whole30. Yeah. If you guys test things out, say what worked, say what didn't. I think that's awesome. If you're being your own guinea pig and a lot of stuff too. And I wouldn't say this if this wasn't a controversial industry. I would just be like, all right, guys, like you can do this, but we're in an industry that's so crazy, right? I can live we're here till 5 a.m. Grab your sleeping bags and your popcorn.
Get your wine.
I'm just kidding. I'm a baby grandma.
She's a baby grandma. She goes to sleep at like 8 o'clock. So yeah. We're getting into the witching hours where Angie gets really kooky.
Lucky you guys.
But I want to share with you guys the 4 kind of, this is how I feel really comfortable in my sales conversations. And this is how I close out almost every single sales call so that I can overcome money objections really, really quickly. So obviously throughout the whole call, I first position exactly what we're talking about on the call. Like, hey, I'm so glad we're chatting today on this call. The goal of this call is to discuss whether or not the 21-day fix would be the right program for you, whatever that may be. And then you guys have to outline the exact questions that you need to ask somebody to get to the guts of what's really going to compel them to move forward. So really peeling back the layers and getting to those pain points. And then you obviously, guys, I'm sure you have some great scripts and systems that you use for, okay, great. Well, here's what's inside the program. Once you've kind of laid that out for them, what I usually like to say is I want to get the direct yes or no. So I say, based on everything that we talked about and everything that is inside this program, do you feel like this is the right fit for you? And you just leave space. And so you get that immediate yes or no. So there's no arguing like, no, I think this would be great for you. They are literally telling you yes or no. So if they say no, okay, why not? And you can dig in and ask them some follow-up questions about, okay, well, what additional questions do you have for me about the program? Maybe there's something else, a different program that might be a better fit that we can look at or discuss. If they say yes, which most of the time they will, if you've really done a good job, attracted your ideal client, asked the right questions, and they say, I don't know, maybe I don't have enough money right now, or the money thing is blocking me. I say, okay, well, if it's okay, always ask permission to discuss money because that's always a sensitive topic. So we'll say, putting money aside for a second, if that's okay, if money wasn't an issue, would you want to move forward with this coaching or with this challenge group or with this program? So you get the immediate yes or no, because people will give you money objections sometimes and it'll have nothing to do with money. Sometimes they just don't know you well enough. And if they've had some icky situations with network marketing previously, it could be 100 different things under the sun. So would you want to move forward with this and get that accountability and support? Yes or no? If they say yes, the two questions that I ask, I say, okay, well, let me ask you something. Based on all the systems, strategies, or just things that you have in place, the knowledge that you have now, do you feel like in the next 3 months, you'll be able to reach that 20-pound weight loss goal? Or whatever they said to you was the thing that they really, really wanted to work on. Do you feel like on your own, with the things you have in place, you'll be able to reach that goal? 9 times out of 10, they're like, probably not. Because they would not have come to you in the first place unless they needed support. Clearly, they are coming to you because they need help with something. Or if you reached out to them and they agreed to it, you piqued their interest for a reason. So they said yes to you. So you're right now on that call, you are holding a space for them. You are already showing up as their coach. So you ask that question, without the support of a coach, without the support of an accountability group, do you feel like you'd be able to reach that goal? Probably not. And I say, okay, well, that's good to know. So do you feel like with the support of this knowledge, with this program, with this system, this structure, this accountability group, whatever things they were like, oh, I really need accountability, highlight that a little bit more. Based on those things, do you feel like if you had all of that, you would be able to get to that 20-pound weight loss goal in the next 90 days? And they're like, well, yeah, definitely. And I go, that's amazing. That's amazing to hear that you not only have total confidence in that this is going to work, but you have confidence that you're able to do it. And that is honestly, and then I'm like, all right, well, it sounds like you're ready to rock this, because obviously if that's the reason they got on the phone with you, I just make the assumption that it's a yes, because why would it not be a yes? If they don't feel like they can do this on their own, but they can do it with your help, they're signing up. And I'm just like, okay, great. Well, let me send you over the link. Let's get you signed up right now. I'll give you the details, bing, bang, boom. Once you're signed up, and I walk them through the steps. I'm like, you'll get added to this Facebook group. We'll give you a shout out. I'll send you over this PDF. It'll have all of your details and you'll be set and ready to go. So yeah, let's do this. And then we just kind of go from there. But I mean, that is pretty much one of the fastest ways to overcome those objections. And, you know, I think it's really important for you guys to realize that $140, I mean, that's really not that much money. For the amount of support that you're going to provide, and the shake, they're going to get a meal every single day, like all of these things, don't get into the place where you're almost arguing and becoming defensive about like, well, it's only like Starbucks and blah, blah, blah. You know, like don't take that route. Just remind them of why they showed up. They got on the phone with you, or they got a messenger with you. Should say, get on the phone with people, because that's just going to make them that more serious. You're going to save a lot of time and get way more committed people and really get to the guts of what they want and need. And Angie and I teach a whole structure and system for rocking discovery calls, how to book them, all the systems and stuff like that. And we don't have a ton of time, so I won't get into that right now. But hopefully those couple of little sentences will really help you guys push past those money objections.
Yeah, and focusing on the benefits, not the tools or the how. So when a woman's on the phone, there's this beautiful book, really quick. I got to show you guys because it's right here. Well, my stuff might fall crazy.
Do I have it? I might have it.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about, girl. What she buys. If you don't own this book, you might want to go to Amazon.com tonight and get this book. It's gold. So this is why the female species, are there only females on tonight? I hope so. If there's any men, I'm sorry, I love you, but we're a different creature. This is why we buy shit. And this is why you sometimes find there's 10 Amazon packages at your front door and you're like, what happened? This is why. So this is incredible to know as a woman in sales who's selling to mostly women, right? Most of you guys, your avatar is women, obviously. So women like to know about the benefits, not the features. Same thing with purchasing a car. A guy's going to be like at the dealership, he's going to be like, so, what is the miles per gallon? He's going to want all the nitty gritty. A woman's going to be like, well, can I see myself driving my kids in this car? A woman wants to know the benefits. Same thing. She might not care as much that Shakeology has 5 to 10 grams of fiber. She might care more so that Shakeology is going to give her a desired benefit, feeling, or result. So just remember that when you're speaking to women, women love to know about benefits. Women love to know about how something's going to change their life. Women don't necessarily care how you're going to give it to them or how they're going to get there. They just want to know that you're going to be the solution for them. So get your hands on this book. It's good. It's my fave.
It's a staple.
And in this on Audible.
Is it on Audible? I don't know.
Look at you! Woohoo!
Someone have it.
Nicole, love it. She's rocking it. She's got it already. Yeah, it's an awesome read. It's really cool. Open your eyes to things and really how to speak to women. We are women, but sometimes we forget what it's like and what we want. So very, very helpful.
Yeah, do you want to open up and do some Q&A, or was there anything else you specifically wanted to?
I can unmute my line. If you guys have a question, I always feel weird typing it out. Just
Yeah, we could just unmute.
unmute your line and ask your question and then mute it back.
Look at these rock stars. You guys are up and just like ready to go.
I had a rock star team.
And this is past my bedtime, but I'm loving this and having so much fun. So I'm like, let's go.
All right. So what questions do you guys have? Go for it.
Any questions about live video, sales calls, content creation?
Jade Root feels
Nailing
better.
down your niche.
Look at all these girls.
Look, they're not. Come on, be bold, be brave.
Don't be afraid. We don't bite.
Yeah, and even if you guys have an idea of what your hook is, we were talking earlier. I know we literally just like emptied our brains. And I'm just like, wow, that was like literally a million different things. So lots of things to think about. So if you guys want to work on niche, I help X with Y so you can Z. I know a lot of ladies, sometimes it takes them like over 90 days to really find the sweet spot with that and really find one that's super specific.
I have a question. I might as well take advantage of the fact that you did.
Yay.
So what if you have 3 or 4 different things that could be your avatar? So I've been in banking as a business loan officer for 15 years. I've been a pageant competitor for 20 years. I've been in the military before. So, I mean, I feel like I can speak to like, which avatar do I pick?
That's a great question. I think this is an interesting question in sales and in marketing because I think all of us have a few avatars, right? Like I've got multiple passions. Absolutely. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I probably could serve a lot of people right now, but I always say, this is one of Jen's quotes. She always says like, be a master of one, not a jack of all trades. And I think picking one that you know is profitable and you're passionate about, like the 2 Ps. So if you had to pick one, what would you say is the one that you're most passionate about and the one that's probably the most profitable for you?
Okay.
You're like all of them.
Well, yeah.
And you can have different avatars, but I always say have them at different times. So, with health coaching, let's say if you are speaking to 2 different people, as long as that content is super direct to that one, and then that's super direct to that one, and you're kind of bouncing back and forth, but I'm trying to think, what are you thinking are like the 2 that you're really like narrowing it down to right now?
Well, I have people that inbox me about financial advice, business advice, how do I get a loan, how do I package my stuff, all the way down from how do I compete for this next pageant, how much weight should I lose, where should I be with my, with my nutrition. So I'm like, I honestly get opposite ends.
Yeah. What are you looking to actually serve, and which one actually lights you up though?
I think probably the pageantry one, only because the pageant girls buy quicker. because they have that date and they need to make it happen. You know, most of the women that I deal with weddings, they're like up and down, up and down. You know, they know they're getting married if, you know, they got the ring. But for a pageant, that crown and that sash is such a carrot to people that they're willing to do almost anything to get it.
That's important. Having that sense of urgency and that
Yes.
deadline.
But then I feel like I'm talking to a very, very small market, whereas with finance, I'm talking to anybody that wants to be a business owner or wants to do better. And the majority of Americans can use a lot of financial direction.
Do you feel like you want to tie Beachbody into that with the residual income, or you want to keep that separate? Or
See, I guess I keep playing back and forth between the avatars, and I really don't know which one's working. So I've decided to just do pageant for the next month or two since pageant season's hitting.
yeah,
See how that works. Because once it's the end of the year, not very many pageants are going to be going on. But between now and usually October is the majority of them.
what about pageant girls? This might
Want to
be a
save
brilliant
up money
idea.
for their pageants.
What'd you
Yeah,
say?
Don't girls need money for the pageants and save up?
Expensive, yeah.
They do GoFundMe accounts. They do everything.
So why don't you teach them how to balance their financial stuff for their pageants?
Oh, snap! We just solved the problem. Because, like, a lot of them, aren't pageants expensive?
Yeah, they're extremely. I mean, a person can spend clearly $10,000 at a national level pageant.
Whoa, I didn't know it was that much. So, okay, so your services are very useful to that avatar for multiple reasons.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't think of that before.
Well, I love that this just happened, because this is the perfect example of, like, you're like, all right, I got my health and fitness box, I got my pageants expertise, and I've got banking. Like, how do I put them together? And now your sales copy, like, your group is going to be so narrowed down, so specific, that when you run a Facebook ad, you know exactly what people you're targeting. Pageant people.
And don't go broke competing, right?
Well, yeah, actually, you probably could mix in like bikini fitness competitors in with that as well. They would probably, because they're sort of in a similar, I mean, maybe not so much with like maybe they would need some of the health and fitness stuff if they're in the off season, but they're also got to buy expensive bikinis and things like that. So you might start attracting some of those ladies as well, because they're in that competition.
Okay. No, I really appreciate, you know what? that was very valuable for me. Thank you. I'm so glad I used my time wisely today.
I love that. I'm like, wait, these girls need money for these pageants.
That's like the best example ever. Oh my God, so good.
You could do like pretty and I don't know, like meshing those in a cute little tagline or something. I love doing that stuff. I'll sleep on it and get back to you. I'm going to find you. And I'm going to wake up tomorrow and have an awesome tagline for you that's going to mesh saving up for the pageant and looking pretty. So funny.
Love it. What other questions do you guys have? What time is it? I mean, it's 10:20. Wow, we usually go to 10. They're like loving this.
Rebels.
Living on stage. Any other questions?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's our group I just posted to healthcoachesmakebank.com. It just takes you to our private Facebook group. We post live videos all the time. Jen and I love chatting about content creation, so you'll find trainings in there too.
Yeah, and if you realize, in an hour, you're like, I have the best question ever that I want to ask, you could just post it in there, and we open that up for questions all the time, so.
I had a question, but unfortunately I've lost connection twice since I typed it into the box. So I don't even remember what it was, and I can't go back and look. So.
Oh, no, okay.
But I think it was something along the lines when you were talking about, I should have written it down here. When you're talking about finding content, like for example on Pinterest and whatever, and then like speaking to your avatar, like being one step ahead of them and getting into that conversation, winning that conversation beforehand by touching on these subjects. When you find that content and you share it, are you sharing the content that you find from someone else? Are you recreating it?
Yeah.
And
I mean, Angie and I, we're big with live video. So we don't really, I mean, we share each other's videos and stuff, and occasionally we'll share stuff from other people, but pretty much any of the quotes that are on our page, like that's just things that we thought of off the top of our head. And our video content is just really based around what our clients are asking for. So, I mean, all of our stuff is original content for the most part. And we have a whole system of how we repurpose our content and how we kind of map things out. And actually, it's a freemium that I have up, so I'll type it in if you guys want to get the like free strategy. We don't have to get into that now because it's a whole video. But yeah, so you like, what would you find on Pinterest? What do you mean specifically?
well, I don't know. For instance,
Like if you found like a recipe or something,
or recipe, yeah, something like that.
like would you take the picture off of Pinterest and like take a screenshot and put it on your page, or like would you create your own kind of a thing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like for instance, a recipe. Do you just like share that recipe? Say someone, because I have people who come to me all the time. Not all the time have I made these recipes. It's something that I will want to make in the future and just haven't gotten around to it. But like sharing a recipe that I think they will like versus sharing a recipe that I have in fact made or I'm making in front of them.
Yeah. What about like the 3 types of expert? Maybe that's what she's kind of.
Yeah, so that's actually, yeah. So I think that's a really great question, actually. We talk about the 3 different types of expertise, and this is actually a Brendan Burchard thing from his book, The Millionaire Messenger. And he says that there's essentially 3 types of experts. There's the results expert, so somebody who's gone through it and done it, the research expert, and then the role model expert. And I think all of us start as a research expert. We're all in that learning phase first. And so, you know, if you look at some of the top podcasts, these podcast people are just interviewing other experts. They're not creating content on their own every single day. They don't have to go and learn everything there is to know about storytelling. They just bring on a storytelling expert. Or, you know, Angie, she just had a great guest on the other day about biohacking. Is she a biohacking expert? No, but it's something she's interested in. So she brought on an expert who has another podcast. So if you're sharing other people's stuff, that's totally cool, especially in the beginning. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and, you know, be creating stuff from scratch. But, you know, as long as your social media platforms are a place where people can come and get value and they know what they're going to get from you, I think you're going to win. You know, I mean, if it's just I would try to, instead of just posting recipes, I think people go more to for like Pinterest or Instagram for that kind of stuff. I don't know. I mean, this is totally your brand, your thing. But is there a thing to it?
Last night I shared a live video. I didn't do so well because I was like a mess in it. But last night I shared a video on how I make my Shakeology mug cake.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained how I'm going to find the dupe that other people can make it without the Shakeology.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's great. And that's super helpful to do because that makes it more shareable and applicable to people and accessible to people who maybe don't have that product in their home, so they can still make it. So that's a great example of a way to integrate the product into your content without making it exclusive to having to have that product.
and then my other thing is I have struggled for like a year trying to find what it is that is my niche. I think it comes down to confidence, but I only have 2 things that I like that I can think off the top of my head that is a hobby, which is makeup and cooking. But I'm not exactly, like, I dip in and out of those 2. That's where I have an issue with. Like, yeah, there are things that I love. There are things that I do all the time. But I also have my moments of, I disappear out of my makeup. I don't mess with it. Or, you know, sometimes my makeup's on point. Sometimes I'm like, hot mess mom over here, don't care, you know, whatever. So I don't find that it really helps if I'm not consistent in something to share it. And I think that's where I'm finding an issue being consistent with something that can add value when, yes, it's something I love, but it's also something that I'm like, okay, I can go without for a while. Kind of thing. Does that make any sense at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's that like brand identity crisis where you're like, I like this thing, but it's not it's not the only thing, or it's not the thing that I'm obsessed with all day, every day. I guess besides money and cooking, is there like something that you're like an expert in that you do all the time that is like a 24/7 kind of thing?
You're a mom. And
I'm a mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your
But-
makeup always looks awesome, so you're really good at makeup. So
Well, I mean, I'm in school for makeup, but I've also dipped out of my school for a while. That's the thing. I've literally put my schooling on hold for like 2.5 years. That's why I love makeup, but I like.
That's it right there, Nicole. That's it. Like you could have been in school. I've never been in school for makeup, and I will get like 85 people in my live where they're all chatting while I'm putting on eyelashes. Like
I only started school for makeup because my husband convinced me, considering I can literally sit for hours and watch YouTube videos of how to do this and how to do that. So that's the only reason why I started school for it, because I did my makeup all the time, and I could sit for 9 hours and watch all these different makeup videos and how to do an eyeshadow look, and
You genuinely don't think that if you can sit for 9 hours, you genuinely don't think that that's your expertise? Or like a big interest of yours or part of your brand?
or maybe it's that I feel like I don't think anyone would really be interested in.
Okay, that's a comment.
That's the real issue.
Yeah. So tomorrow when you do your makeup, we want to see you go live. We're all going to jump on and we're all going to cheer you on. Okay. I want to do some smoky eyes and all that, and
I mean, listen, on YouTube right now, I would say lifestyle vloggers and makeup vloggers are not even vlogging makeup, but they're the biggest hits. There's literally like 4 million hits on like the Kim Kardashian like smoky eye or something. Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like, I don't really
powder and all of that. Yeah, I do all that contouring and stuff.
Oh my God, yeah, that stuff to me is I'm like, whoa, what is this? What's going on? So honestly, some women might be really intrigued by it, and I think it's a great thing to express. I mean, if you have that passion, then yeah, I mean, it sounds like that's kind of your zone of genius or your zone of excellence, right? That's where you really excel.
Yeah, so in your challenge groups, you can add tutorials of makeup. And the best makeup for wearing makeup while you work out. I think she just got kicked off.
one of the things that I did in March was I did Makeover Mama, and
Amazing.
I focused on the fact that I did a lot of jabs throughout the week talking about like I'm tired of feeling like a frump, I'm tired of wearing my yoga pants all day long, like toss on some lip gloss, ladies, and look hot for your husband when he gets home. And throughout that, and then started my Makeover Mama in March and said, I'm going to be giving my makeup tips, my fashion tips, best ways to make it really easy at home while we're doing our 21 Day Fix or whatever it was that we were doing. So things like that are easy to separate yourself out from the rest of the coaching world and add value with something you're good at. Like Nicole said, would be makeup for her, and that's what it is for me. But you guys are amazing. Like I seriously could listen, even though it's like almost 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night here. We could listen all night. Thank you so much. Did you guys see her link? There's links on the side. There's healthcoachesmakebank.com, which is their free private Facebook group. And then she also posted a link, social media to sales.com, which is her free training, and has a lot of, it says blueprint a month of content in less than 15 minutes, repurposed across all social media platforms. And I am definitely going to look into the funneling system, because I'm the girl that's like, hey, I'm on Instagram, but follow me on Snapchat.
And then go back to Instagram. Wait, no, come back to Snapchat.
Oh, Periscope. Oh, no, never mind. Don't do Periscope. I'm all over the place.
Okay, Periscope's not cool anymore. Don't go there. Oh my God. This is so much fun. We love this. Seriously, this is an honor. You guys are so cool. And yeah, check out those links. We have a bunch of free resources. And then I'll leave the link for our academy if you guys want to check it out. We're launching on the 29th, so we have some spots left for that. It's our private exclusive academy that we do once or twice a year where we dive into all of this stuff. And don't worry, we make it fun because a lot of this can be boring, but we keep it fun.
Awesome. So that's well
Academy.com. So yeah, you guys can see all the details there. Yeah, we take all these systems of social media, strategy, content creation, email marketing. We take it all. We probably have, how many Beachbody girls do we have in this round? Probably another 40 to 50. We've got a lot. We love the Beachbody girls.
Beachbody, yeah.
Lots of Beachbody isogenics, a mix, some Institute of Integrative Nutrition gals. So it's a cool mix. So fun. Awesome. Yeah. Any other questions? Leave them in our private group too, and we'll be happy to reach out to you gals and answer them for you.
Yes, and thank you, everyone. Thank you for staying on, and thank you so much for having us. This is a friggin' blast. You guys are such an awesome team.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on here for free and sharing a ton of amazing value. I have got notes like crazy. My favorite quote was, "When you know the conversation in your customer's head, you've won." And like, somehow I've been able to naturally do that, but now you just gave me verbiage to use for my coaches. I'm like, that's it right there. That's what I do. And I didn't even know how to say how I did it because people would ask all the time to Shannon, what should I post? What should I say? I'm like, I don't know how to do it. And I went and posted it on our 5-star to 15-star wall over with Beachbody because I was like, that was amazing. So thank you so much, Angie and Ben. You guys rock.
So welcome. Get some sleep, ladies.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Guys.
Bye.